Look who's here, everybody. One of the best. Nobody's better. Well, welcome back. Here in the Midwest, spring has arrived. We're going out for outdoor walks with the dogs, letting them run around the backyard. But the warmer weather also ushers in flea and tick season, and it's important to make sure your dog is properly protected. Here with tips and more, give it up for Katie K9, everybody. Oh, and Elliot.
Yes, don't forget Elliot.
What do you think of Elliot? Now, Katie, let me just say, Katie has trained and helped raise basically all of my dogs my whole adult life. So, yeah, what do you think of little Elliot?
Excellent. I'm so proud of you. He's not fat. You don't have a sausage.
No.
He has a waistline.
Yeah, does he? He looks good weight-wise?
Yes.
Oh, now he's posing.
Yes, there you go, see? Yeah.
He's showing off for you,
yeah,
Katie.
You bet.
Look at my slender tush. That's what he's like. That's the pose right now. But he looks like he's a good weight.
Oh, he's awesome. Awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because it's so easy to get these short little guys so wide. And so that's why I'm so proud of you. It's good.
Okay. Let's focus. We'll talk more about him. Auntie Bjorn, you want to come get the little guy? This is his trainer.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
joking. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's talk about flea and tick season and dealing with this problem naturally.
Yes, I hate chemicals. If you look on the package of all this stuff, you have to have a hazmat suit to handle it, and you're putting that on your dog. And what you forget is, like when you do the spot-ons or the flea and tick collar is the worst. But anything is that every time you pet that dog, you're absorbing those chemicals. Okay, you're sleeping with those chemicals, and also you're thinking, well, with the spot-ons, well, that gets absorbed. No, that oil stays on the coat. So every time you pet, and if you got kids, you know, they're hugging and kissing, they're getting all those chemicals. And we're just too much of a chemical society, and there's so many natural ways to do it. Okay, this is one. This is called diatomaceous earth. Okay?
I'm sorry, what?
Diatomaceous earth.
Okay.
Food grade. Okay, it looks like powdered chalk. Okay, and what it does, you put it in a baby sock, and what you do is you're going to pat, just one pat like in the chest, one pat on the shoulder blades, one where the butt and the tail come, and underneath this. And so when the flea or the tick walks through this, it scrapes their shell and they dehydrate and die naturally. And so what you do is you just put a tap like where they sleep in their bed, so in case anything falls off in their bed. And so that's why all it is once a week, just pat, pat. And you don't want to make a black dog white. Okay? Okay, so just a pat, a pat.
You don't want them to look like they just got back from Studio 54. Yeah.
And see, people take this in their coffee for parasites, if you think you got parasites. I deworm my dogs and my cats and my horses with diatomaceous earth. And so you can just look online on what's the ratio, you know, to give them.
And where do you get that?
You can get it online. I get the organic. I got buy a 10 pound. You could put it on your lawn and around your house to keep ants and critters from sliding into your house. It's an awesome thing, diatomaceous earth.
Okay.
Okay, and
next.
then now flea and tick combs, flea combs are great for running it through under the chin. The ticks gravitate to the head, okay, because it's thinner skin, so they can eat faster. Okay, and so under the armpits too. So you can run this through, and if you can catch a tick, not only a flea, but you can catch a tick. And so this way here, it just helps you out instead of sitting there going through like this.
Oh.
Okay, and then they do have long. See, this one has a longer tine.
Yeah.
And for a longer coated dog. Okay, so you just take your thumb, go back down, and just kind of start going through, and it'll snag any tick. Also, a lint roller.
I'm sorry, a regular lint roller?
Yep, and so you just run this over the dog, and it'll snag any of the ticks that are on the outside. They're just crawling on them right now, and so it'll snag any of the ticks. So you just kind of lint roll your dog. But now, anyway.
What do you do now? Let's say you do all this, and you're like, oh, combing the dog, and you find a tick.
Okay.
What do you? I've heard different. What are you supposed to do with it?
The biggest thing is everybody goes, ew.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they try to figure out, how do I get this off? You have to sneak up on the tick. Okay, what I mean by sneak up on it, too many people are futzing and fidgeting and such like that, and then the tick has, the deeper bite it has, the bigger sore you're going to have from it, and it's a wives' tale where you leave the head in the tick. No, you don't. What happens, it just had that good of a bite, so it's going to leave a bigger scab and such, but you want to get in there and just get it right away. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm not sure how, and they take
Don't give them time to strategize.
What happens is that you stir them and they'll spew stuff back into your system by disrupting them.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, so you just got to reach in and you got to quick pull it out. And yeah, if you're a really good aim with the tweezers, that's fine. Don't put, some people say like put alcohol, you know, gin on it, or yeah.
I'm not wasting gin on a tick.
Smart man, because what it does.
Thank you. Whoever clapped for that, thank you, yeah.
But so what happens is that when you do stuff like that, it stings the dog. You know, it hurts. Then the dog's going to jump and the tick is still on and I got to start all over again. So you sneak up on the tick and get it and just give one quick pull. And if you can't do it, find somebody that can.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that's huge. It really is. People dig around with it too much. And like I said, it's a wives' tale that they left the head in the tick.
Don't do that.
The bigger the scab, the deeper the tick got with humans and with dogs.
More with Katie when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. I have never heard of that powder. There's the real star of the show. That's Elliot, our Frenchie. We're back with Katie Canine. Okay, we'll get to your questions, by the way, in just a little bit. What is that?
You could take a bandana.
Okay.
Okay, and put a drop of lemongrass oil on it, because you want to make your dog or your cat a restaurant the fleas and ticks don't like. Okay, and so you put lemongrass oil on it, or an eucalyptus oil. Purposely, I can't stand the smell of eucalyptus, so I use lemongrass. So you put a drop. Okay, then put it in a Ziploc bag, and then when you're going to go out for your walk or whatever, then what you're going to do, put the bandana on it, and then leave them on until about an hour when you get home, and then take the bandana off and then put it in the Ziploc bag. Because what you're doing is making the restaurant the smell that the fleas, ticks don't like. And see, the neat thing about natural stuff is that there's no chemicals. You can, if you're worried about it, use them all, and you'll be right on top. Now this is the best thing ever. This is called.
It looks like something Cher would wear.
Yeah, well, hey, remember the puka shell days?
I do. Yeah, I used to wear. Yeah, I know.
Well, anyway, this is called an amber tick collar, and what this does is you put it on your dog, and it takes 24 hours for their body heat to warm these beads up. And this is a Baltic Atlantic pine from Lithuania. Thank you. Well, anyway, and what this does, it's really bizarre. It's like it makes their coat kind of staticky. And so when the flea or the tick kind of go on it, they get a shock and they don't want to go on your dog.
Let's try it on Bjorn. Come here, Bjorn. Let's put.
And so they come in different sizes. You just measure your dog's neck, and you can find them online. But you have to be careful. These are, see how they're smoky?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want the smoky. You don't want them polished. If they look shiny, like this collar will be done when they're shiny, then it's time to get a new collar.
Okay.
You leave this on 24/7. Okay, don't take it off. You don't hook your leash to this. This is just a necklace for your dog.
I'm thinking of what the viewer's saying at home right now. And not about that, but I'm saying in general. But you've been doing this for how long, Katie? You've been in the dog business.
Okay, I've been training dogs for 54 years.
54 years, okay.
And Katie Canine of 44 years, and I'm only 23.
So I'm setting up. So I think people at home, because we are, as you said, we are a chemical
society.
Go to the store, chemical, buy the spray kind of people.
Yes.
We are here. I'm sure people are hearing you and they're like, oh, just use this natural powder, use this necklace. And I think some people are thinking it's not going to work as well. Your answer to them is?
BS.
Yeah, thank you for not saying the actual word. But yeah, really, in your experience, all of this natural stuff works just as well. Right,
and because chemicals, they've started making them more chemically, worse chemicals, because a lot of the dogs and the fleas and the ticks are getting immune to it. You know what I mean? So you got to make a better chemical to repel. And see, just like people don't realize when everybody getting their lawns ready, okay, chemicals, if you use chemicals or a chem service or anything, your dog is 70% higher chance of getting some form of lymphoma, 70%. Okay, and so the thing is there's natural ways to do your lawns. My poppy field, my yellow poppy field, is beautiful right now. All the dandelions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that's why when you do things naturally, and this year, like I say, the amber tick collar is unbelievable. It really is.
Okay.
And so that, but like I said, and then there's some sprays out there, like Wondercide. That one is a fairly natural one there. You can take lemons and cut them up, put them in 2 cups of hot water, let it boil, let it seep, pour it out, put it in a spray bottle, and it creates delimazine, so you can spritz your dog or your cat or yourself, with it.
Again, we'll try that on Bjorn later. Yeah. Just lemon water.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so you got to let it seep for a while, though. After it boils for a while, usually about a half hour, an hour, and then if you don't use it all, then just put it in the refrigerator, and then strain it with cheesecloth.
Yeah.
So you don't have the seeds in there.
Now, when we come back, Katie's staying around because we posted on Instagram, do you have dog questions? And I'll kick us off. If you have a vocal dog like I do now, what can you do? That and more when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. Yeah, Dever, Dexter, and Mr. Big. Welcome back. Katie K9 is here. Follow Katie online, and you can find her podcast. Search for Katie K9 wherever you get them. We're turning Katie over to you to answer some of your questions, but I'll kick us off and I'll say I have 2 children. I have a boxer, Milo, who, according to my mother, is perfect. And then we have the French Bulldog, and that's Elliot. He's vocal, and my other French Bulldog barked maybe 3 times in his whole life. Not that little sausage. He barks a lot. What do I do?
The biggest thing when you get little dogs, now my husband's a farmer, and having animals in the house was like not my house. We obviously reached an agreement.
Yeah.
But anyway, the first time I got a small dog, Gilligan, 10 pounds, he says, I'm not going to have an ankle biter barker. And I said, he won't be. And after a month of being in the house, and the reason is because I mentally stimulate him. I taught him tricks. We did obedience. When you're not using the brain, the dog has other things to dwell on and make issues of, and that's when they become barkers. Because a lot of small dogs are just lap dogs. They don't do anything with them. It's easier just
so I play like Wordle with them, or what? I mean, yeah.
Go for it. Yeah. But I mean, if you go to look on YouTube, I want to teach my dog to say prayers, wave, roll over. But the more you ask him to do something, the calmer and steady and other things he has to talk about or think about, and so he's going to be less barky and more. And some dogs will come up. Let's say you're sitting on the couch, and the dog will come up and sit in front of you and just stare at you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what most people do, they lean forward and go, "What? You got to go potty? You want a treat? You want to go outside?" Okay, pretty soon the dog comes up and barks again, and then barks more, and you're teaching them by giving them a reaction. So if the dog comes up and stares at you and barks at you, you don't answer it. You just kind of in your head, is it time to go outside? Is it But don't answer the bark. Then all of a sudden they're barking for everything. They're telling you, hello, I'm get your attention one way or the other. I'll bark at you. So if they, oh yes.
He's pretty well behaved though, don't you think?
Oh yes, no, yeah, like oh yes.
Yes.
But start using his head.
Okay.
Most people don't. They get very
I'll train him how to make me a cup of coffee.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, that's hot. Yeah. We don't want him to get
Oh, that's right. Then vodka soda.
Yeah,
okay, here we go.
Good.
Let's go to the first question from Kim. Kim writes, hey, Katie, my little poppy is scratching and licking her paws a lot. What is causing this? And I did change my food.
Oh, good. So hopefully, when the food causes a lot, where we feed one thing too long, they can start building up allergies. But the thing is when they're licking their paws and such, usually you got to add the omega-3s and 6s, and you got to bump those up to get it into going. And then give your dog a bath once a week with a good shampoo, like Espana is a really good one made in Minnesota. But the whole thing is, because sometimes we wash our hair at least once a week, right? And sometimes people
God willing. Yeah.
But sometimes, like I say, it's just the undercoat, and then, like I say, you want a nice sheen to the dog's coat. But that's usually it's the food by not rotating fast enough, and then by bump up the omega-3s and 6s, and then a lot of times that will help out.
Nikki is next. Hi, Nikki. She writes, how do I get my German Shepherd adopted puppy to walk on a leash? She is 6 months old.
Come to Katie K9. There you go.
No, but obedience training is important.
Oh, it is. You got to have the basics. Heel, sit, down, stay, come, and like I say, you don't work this the dog won't come when he's called.
Yeah.
And so you just got to start working. He's on a
By the way, like most of our viewers, the dog is completely bored of our show.
Yeah.
He literally just took off. He's like, I'm out. I'm done with Katie. I'm done with you. I'm going back home. Yeah. Bye, Elliot.
But
yeah.
see, like a lot of times, people have been using harnesses now, because they don't want to choke their dog, understandably. But the thing is, if you get the right training collar, not an intronic collar, okay, I use a couple different ones, but the thing is then they're not going to choke themselves.
Yeah.
And so then just a couple taps, and all of a sudden the dogs learn by trial and error. They do this happens, they do that happens. I'm not a treat trainer.
I know you're not.
And the reason is because if you got a treat, you got the dog. If you don't have the treat, bye.
Yeah,
They do a quick air sniff. You don't have nothing. I want to build from the inside. I want to build a team. And so as far as being pulled, you just got to get with the right trainer. You can't do it yourself, so you have to be shown.
Yeah.
So.
Ruth, this is a common one. This is from, how do I get my male 6-month-old puppy to stop peeing when he meets strangers?
Okay, that's called submission urination, and they do it when they're really happy or really worried. It's not a potty training problem. And usually there's triggers.
Milo does this, and he's a year and a half.
Okay, yes, it's a confidence thing. You have to build the confidence through training, okay, and like you bend over to pick them up, they'll squat and pee. Okay, so if you have a submission urinator, you sit down and you invite them, say pause up, and you want them, then you start giving them a tickle, and then if you want them up, you pick them up. But if you stand up and bend over, they duck and they pee to submit to you like, are we okay? Are we okay? Okay, and so that's, so it has nothing to do with potty training. Don't yell at them for it. And then when they're really worried or really overexcited, so you have to watch for the triggers, and you have to do some training to build their confidence, and that will go away, okay? But a lot of people think it's a potty training problem.
I did.
Right, and so they yell at the dog, and it's like, now you're compounding. A dog that submits to you like that is so easy to train because they want to please you, okay? And so in the dog world, to be peed at is a good thing. It's like, okay, yeah, there you go.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Give it up for Katie Canine, everybody. Like I said, follow Katie on Instagram. For more information, also go to ktk9.com. You can also listen to a radio show, mytalk1071.com, or wherever you get your podcast. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Thank you, Lovey. Thank you. Thank you.